prison ran by the officers, but they get to call themselves drill instructors, dude. It's nuts. I'll get into that in a little bit.
Yep.
So I was like, oh man, dude, it was like such a relief. But getting back to like, oh, dude, you're going to youth offender? Oh, you know how to fight? And like, I was like, what's that, dude? I'm like 17-ish now, turning 18, and so I was like, what do you mean? So like that, I was just so happy to do that, dude. And then that's when I went through there. And that boot camp, it wasn't like a boot camp like you think. What it was is it's a bunch of youngsters that are 16 to 21, 25, I forget, that are all charged as adults or all like, have a wild sentence, probably 21, I think. And it's just a prison. We're all same. Only difference is they can dish out corporal punishment. They're allowed, and they call it under the guise of, oh, this we're just doing boot camp style, beat the dog crap out of us, had us fighting each other, and then they PT us. So like we're going through all this, and then they're already sadistic, but now they're getting away with it, and they know us young dudes are like looking at these guys like their father figures, and they're having us fight each other, beat the shit out of each other, and then they'll beat the shit out of us, slam our heads, and
Damn.
yeah, and like they had full control because if you don't complete this, then you got to go do you get resentenced. You go back to the judge, and he can resentence you to your max sentence. So everyone like it was wild, and there was no stat. Obviously, it was more controlled. Like everything was watched 24/7. But they ended up beating the kid to death in there and shut it down. But I stayed in there for about a
Damn.
year, and yeah, it was yeah. So I got out right at 19, and I thought I was like Mr. Big Shot now, dude.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I had made a lot of connections in there, and that's when I took it to the next level. And the dudes that I grew up with, it was like they were still doing what they were doing, but I looked at them like, you guys are weak, man. Like you guys have like some of them did, but that's how like how blinded I was, how lacking of a like figure of someone to explain life to me. I thought
But
I
that's
just
what it does to you too. When your
yeah,
first time, you come out with more knowledge. It's like a college of knowledge of things
so true.
you shouldn't know.
Yeah, I remember you hit it right in the head. I remember the drilling or the corrections officer saying to us, he goes, "All I'm doing here is making super criminals." Because the day would be like this in there. You wake up, and you got to you make sure everything's clean, make your bed, and then they would just run us to death, push us. They just PT us to death, and then like if somebody dropped out or if somebody didn't like, they do an inspection. If anything like that, they'd be like, "All right, you two get in there and fight." 2 minutes, like, and they have we're like this. It was just so I'm
Damn.
thinking like yeah. So I was like, and going through that made me like really like feel like oh yeah, I'm on the next level. And then they're also he's like yeah, dude. He's like we're making super criminals here. So I get out. I'm in shape now for once. I don't want it. I'm like no drinking, no none of that. I'm just shredded, and I have a different vibe to me, dude. And so I go immediately back to that lifestyle. Except now I have major connections. I've met major players to me, and like you said, it's like I graduated into college now. Now I'm like, gonna get my bachelor's degree now. You know what I mean, or whatever.
Yep. Yep.
And yeah, so that's how the juvenile system went for me.